Hello friends, I am Dr. Deepak Garg and today we will discuss anterolateral approach to lateral tibial plateau. These are our various references: Gray's Anatomy, Hoffenfield Orthopedics, Campbell's Operative Orthopedics and the Atlas Human Anatomy. So what are the indications of anterolateral approach to tibial plateau? So these are the various indications: open reduction, internal fixation of the tibial plateau fractures, bone grafting in cases of non-union or delayed union, osteomyelitis, for taking a biopsy from the proximal tibia or for harvesting a bone graft from the proximal tibia. So what is the position of the patient? Position of the patient is supine with knee 60 degree of the flexion, and there is a sandbag below the ipsilateral hip to eliminate normal external rotation of the lower limb and to keep the patella facing upwards. So what are the surgical landmarks? Surgical landmarks are lateral joint line, Gerdy's tubercle and the tibial shin. So incision starts. So we will first look at our landmarks. This is the lateral meniscus. This is the lateral aspect of the patellar tendon. This is the tibial shin and this is the Gerdy's tubercle. So we start the incision 1 to 3 centimeter below the joint line, go over the anterior aspect of the Gerdy's tubercle, then stay lateral to the patellar tendon and stay 1 centimeter lateral to the tibial shin. This is our incision. So what is the internervous plane in this approach? So guys, there is no true internervous plane. So the plane is epiperiosteal and we work in this plane only. Superficial dissection. So we will talk the superficial dissection proximally and distally. So in the proximally, we first, after the skin incision, we cut the subcute in line with the skin incision so that we will expose the capsule. So the capsule is incised longitudinally below the joint line, below the lateral meniscus. So we cut the capsule like this longitudinally, and distally we cut the superficial fascia above the tibialis anterior muscle. So this is the superficial dissection. Then we will talk about the deep dissection. Similarly, deep dissection proximally and distally. Proximally, after we cut the capsule and expose the synovium, then we first will have to tag the lateral meniscus. Then we will have to free the lateral meniscus from the soft tissue to make plane between tibial plateau and lateral meniscus. Anterior and the posterior attachment of lateral meniscus must be preserved. Then we talk about the distal deep dissection. We deattach fibers of tibialis anterior muscle from proximal aspect of the tibia, and the number of the fibers that must be deattached depend on the surgical approach, that length of the tibial plateau that we need to expose during our approach. So what are the dangers in the surgical approach? The first danger is a common peroneal nerve, but guys, we know that the common peroneal nerve lies way well behind tibialis anterior muscle, so usually it is not injured. Then we have the lateral meniscus. So this is lateral meniscus, and we have already seen in the deep dissection that we must preserve the posterior and the anterior attachments of the lateral meniscus so as to prevent injury to the lateral meniscus, and we should tag the lateral meniscus during the deep dissection so that we can achieve a better closure during the closure. How will we enlarge the approach? So we will see the proximal enlargement and the distal enlargement. The proximally, we continue the same incision proximally over the lateral aspect of the joint line and curve the incision posteriorly over the lateral condyle of the femur. Then cut the subcutaneous capsule and approach the knee joint and the lateral distal aspect of the lateral condyle of the femur. And distally the same approach can be extended, same incision, staying 1 centimeter lateral to the tibial shin, and we can go up to the ankle. Keep learning. Thank you guys.